Hello there, and welcome to my Facebook Live. I know many of you don't know I'm doing this yet, so I'm going to just greet you and I will get started in a moment with what I want to talk to you about. Yes, today's topic is emotional mastery. What is it? Why do I want it? And how do I get it? Well, I guess I'll dig in right now because I said I was going to talk about that now. So, what is emotional mastery? It's being the master of your emotions. You know, if you're happy and every moment in your life is just juicy and wonderful and exactly what you want it to be, I will tell you, you have emotional mastery. However, if there are times where you lose that clarity of mind, or you're struggling with making a decision, or not communicating in the way that you wish, if you're angry, hurt, if your happiness or your peace of mind are diminished in any way, that means your emotions are the master of you. And sometimes that's not really how we want to show up in our lives. You'd rather have that peace of mind, the clarity, the calm inner peace, to be confident, to speak up for ourselves. Emotional mastery means you have choice. And it means you can respond when you're challenged in ways that you are in harmony with your best and highest self, no matter what. And I know these are challenging times, and that it's even trite and redundant to say that now. However, we still can move through this with choice. I know I sent an email out the other day, and the subject was try joy instead. And you might have said, are you kidding? How can I do that now? Well, again, it's about having choice. That is emotional mastery. Why do you want it? Well, your emotional mastery and how you feel has everything to do with the mood you're in when you wake up in the morning, how you make your decisions throughout the day, how you interact with people, and the mood you're in when you put your head down on the pillow at the end of the day. And again, if all's going well, you have emotional mastery. And if you're anything less, if you're experiencing anything less than that, then this is for you. And the how people think is difficult because they think emotional change is just so hard. And I used to think that too, because I thought I was a victim of my emotions. And I didn't like it, and I bet you don't either. The how is to create a new neural pathway for the way of feeling, the way of being that you'd rather have, that you'd rather be. And to illustrate that, I'm going to tell you a story. When I was a little girl, I lived in a suburb of Chicago called Park Forest. And I remember walking to kindergarten, and there was this big field that I had to walk around to get to the school. It was a detour that added a lot of time to these little girl legs, right? And my mother said, well, why don't you just do a shortcut across the field? Well, the weeds were high, and it was a little hard to walk across that field, especially for a little girl, right? But I did, and then my friends walked across the field. They took the same shortcut that I took, and then I took the shortcut again. Well, what started happening over time? Well, those weeds that had been so hard to walk through, we matted them down and we created a path so it got easier to cut through that pathway. And pretty soon, everybody in the neighborhood was cutting through that field on the path that we had sort of walked on and trotted on and flattened. It became easier. And the shortcut to the school was just, we loved it. We all loved it. And then my mother, her name was Sally, confronted the town and said, we need a sidewalk there because everyone is walking there anyway. We need a sidewalk. So guess what happened? The town built a sidewalk and they called it Sally's Sidewalk. And you know what? Decades later, that sidewalk is still being walked upon, and it's a shortcut that most people do choose. Well, think about that with your emotions. People have anger, for instance, and there was a way to get through it. Maybe you talk about it in a way that maybe is a confrontation and the conversation is a little challenging, for instance, and eventually you might resolve it. Or maybe you say, oh, I just don't want to, I'm not an angry person. I just don't want to let that out. I'm not explosive. I don't want to go there. And eventually you might get over it. But you know what? There is a shortcut. There is a shortcut to having that feeling that you'd rather have. You could have it sooner rather than later. Why wait till later when you could have a shortcut? So in working with my clients and my students, we look at and we experience in our bodies what it is when we don't have that joy, that peace, the harmony, whatever it is that you're longing for. The way to really calm down so that you can have an interaction with someone, and that connection, that relationship can actually be nourished. instead of challenged or threatened. So we look at what you don't want first, because actually this motivates you. It stokes your motivation, and it makes it more empowering when you feel that thing you don't like. And you know what? There's another metaphor here. Sally Sidewalk is one. Here's another one. Say the flu vaccine. The flu vaccine for the regular flu doesn't work for the COVID flu. It is a flu, but it doesn't work. It's a different kind of flu. There's a different virus that we're interacting with. Emotionally, we all have our own unique flavor of that thing that hurts us and can destroy relationships and can impact our lives. It's different, unique for every one of us. So what I have my clients do is to feel, oh, I'm not angry. I can't say that. No, I shouldn't say that. That is a particular flavor. It may not be yours. Maybe it is familiar to you. So we feel that feeling we don't like. That's a very strong neural pathway. It's a path you've walked along many, many times, right? It's well traveled. You zip right along it. What if you don't want to go on that pathway anymore? It feels hard at first because the rest of the field is overgrown with weeds, and it's hard to walk across that field when it's overgrown with weeds. Same with a new neural pathway. Together we can create a new neural pathway. So instead of this contraction, you can find a way to open it and breathe. And when people open and breathe, I see this in my clients all the time, their heart center starts to open. Something shifts, and they can feel their feet. Feel your feet on the ground as I say these words. And as you shift, you're starting to pave a new neural pathway, a new shortcut across that field, a shortcut to where you want to go. So as your body shifts, you anchor it in your body. You can call it a power pose. You can call it a mudra, which traditionally is a prayer or meditation position. You find this feeling in your body that you'd rather have. And as you find it, your energy starts to shift. Are you feeling that now? As your energy shifts, it will change how you think and how you feel and how you respond next. And the words that come out of your mouth next will be different. But we could take this a step further. So feeling that shift, that different energy in your body now, ask yourself this question. Actually, ask your body this question. Well, feeling this energy I have now, instead of this one, feeling this energy, what does this say about me? I hold my ground and I speak my truth with kindness. Oh, there's a shortcut. I don't like this one, right? I hold my ground and I speak my truth with kindness. And as I say those words, that's my shortcut. It could be your shortcut too. Or maybe there's a different shortcut for you. Learn how to ask your body what it is that you would rather feel that would best serve you in being your best and highest self, no matter what, even in challenging times. And I want you to know that there are so many ways and new neural pathways that are easy to create that you'll discover in my new course called the Emotional Mastery Foundation. In this course, we go around the Enneagram, and it's a personality system, and you learn how to embody the gifts of all these different personality styles with different emotional strengths. You learn how to embody them, and you learn how to pave a new neural pathway to a feeling that could really serve you and give you a shortcut to being your best and highest self. And then there are also live coaching calls with me where you can raise your hand and say, well, I don't get this, or this doesn't make sense, or I have a question about that. In our interactions, you get coached, and then I guide you in what it is that would best be your most useful, most powerful, and empowering antidote to whatever it is that's keeping you from your joy, from your happiness, from really being in your relationships the way you want, so you're both fulfilled and nurtured, and your relationships are supported and deepened, and they can thrive. What I want for you is your happiness, your joy, and your well-being, your wholeness. And what I know is that this work with emotional mastery has changed my life, and it's changed the lives of thousands of my students and clients around the world. And I want that for you too. So join me in the Emotional Mastery Foundation. The link I will put below in just a moment. It's andrea-isaacs.com/EMF for Emotional Mastery Foundation. The course is ready for you now, so join me there. There's also a really great discount you'll see on that website in just a moment. So thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in the course.